So good morning. My name is Zen. This is Gooder Grove Hiker Hostel in Franklin, North Carolina, and I'm sitting here with Jay Hiker on the left, your right, and Prime. Prime is from Sweden. He came all the way over, and apparently Josie wants to get in the video, so she came to get in the camera view. And we were just here talking about the trail conditions and what it's like to hike this early in the season. These guys started, what was your start date?
The 13th of January.
January 13th, that was a Friday, I hope.
That was a Sunday.
That's good, that's good. Just be safe. And then what was your start date?
The same day.
Same day?
Yeah.
Have you guys been hiking together since that day?
Since day 2.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you actually had somebody that you were hiking with,
Right.
you dropped out early,
Yeah.
and then y'all just ran into each other on the trail, right?
Yeah. Became hiking buddies.
Yeah, that's really cool. And as a lot of people know, if you through hike, you see that a lot of times you end up meeting people that are just happen to be a perfect fit as far as your personalities and whatnot, to be able to support each other on up the trail, and you form really tight, bonds that way, and lifetime friendships. So I'm sure these guys will probably know each other for the rest of their lives from this experience.
Absolutely.
But so it's now January, what is today, 26th? So it's been 13 days since you've been on trail. That's pretty good to get up here. And I think the average in past years has been between 12 and 14 days to get up during the winter. But this year we've had a lot of blowdowns and a lot of winter storms that cause fallen trees and limbs across the trail. So that's what I wanted to ask you guys about. What are the trail conditions like as far as that goes?
They're okay until you hit North Carolina. When you come out of Georgia and you go into North Carolina got hit bad. So from the ice and the wind, it blew down a lot of things onto the trail. So there's a lot of going around trees and going over trees, and
with a full pack load.
Yeah, with a full pack load, and you got to go some spots. You got to go up a muddy hill and come back down on the other side of the tree. So, I mean, I tore up a whole rain suit just climbing through trees.
Yep,
until you get to I think it was about Mooney Gap is when things started clearing up. So after we got Mooney Gap, and
that was just before you got here.
Yeah,
that's only like less than 20 miles, like 15 miles before Rock Gap.
Yeah, I think the last bad spot, as if it's not bad enough, Albert Mountain. Climbing Albert Mountain is pretty much sheer rock going all the way up. Yeah. So there was an actual tree was laying parallel on the rocks. So it was It
wasn't like that a couple months ago. A month ago.
Yeah.
I guess it's been a couple months since I've been up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wasn't there, so that must be pretty neat.
So after we got over Albert Mountain and past the fire tower at the top, things pretty much started clearing up.
Right.
And it was smooth sailing the rest of the way.
Oh, don't worry, you're about to hit Waya, Bald, and that. There'll be more blowdowns probably.
I guarantee
because there was a lot of ice and snow up there.
Yeah.
I actually, while shuttling a hiker, trying to pick him up, got my car stuck up there. Even though it's all-wheel drive, it just didn't have the clearance.
Right.
And it got wedged with just solid ice and snow up underneath it, and the axle and everything. And luckily, somebody came along that, and the guy had one of those huge rancher trucks with a winch, and he sounded familiar. I know this is weird, but I actually thought, man, this guy sounds familiar, and I asked him, and it turned out that he had a reservation here in the fall and canceled it on the phone with me because things changed, his schedule changed, but he just happened to come up to visit his family and happened to come up there right when we needed him and had a winch and actually pulled my car out.
Nice.
So that's some trail magic right there. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But and he's planning on coming and staying, in the spring and doing some hiking and whatnot.
Cool deal.
So what do you think of the trail compared to Sweden? And you've lived in all kinds of places and hiked all kinds of places, I imagine.
Yeah.
What do you think of the trail, Prime?
I think it's a really nice trail. I didn't really expect that much going up hills and going down hills. So it is quite challenging trail.
Yeah.
But it's also it makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Then the views and the scenery spots are great. So I think it's a.
Wait till we see this next section between here and the Nantahala Outdoor Center is stunning. Stunning views, like every mountain, every gap that you pass, basically. Yeah. So you're gonna really. And now, the good thing about hiking in the winter is that you get the long views. You're not in the long green tunnel, as they call it, with the foliage and everything blocking in the views. And so these guys are getting to see, the mountains at their best. And the air is also more clear. There's less humidity in the air, so you can see, for 80, at least 60, over 60 miles away. And from these mountaintops, you see the valleys and all of the Blue Ridge Mountains in the background. So yeah, I think I like that. But so what have you guys found has it been challenging as far as gear and whatnot? Has anything been freezing up on you, or?
I haven't really had anything freeze yet. My biggest challenge has been my gear, because when I started out, I kind of went into this blind and just did, online research.
Oh yeah, tell your story. I know you probably told it on your YouTube channel, but
yeah,
how did you end up coming on the trail?
I actually, I just woke up one morning about 2.5 months ago, and something told me I'm going to go hike the trail, and didn't know anything about it. I mean, I knew that the trail existed and that people go and day hike it, but I didn't know the extent that people start in Georgia and go all the way to Maine. Like that never even crossed my mind. So I started researching it and found out that it's a very popular thing for people to try. So
yeah,
I did my research. I researched gear. I bought the gear that I thought would work for me, and 2 months later, here I am on the trail.
So what was, what was the inspiration behind that? Was you were a little bit, were you frustrated with life?
I was getting into a downward spiral. I was pretty much stagnant in life.
Like just a funk.
Yeah, pretty much it was a funk, and it's almost like a.
That's funny. You went from a rut to the trail, which is kind of a rut.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But a natural rut.
Yeah.
Versus the unnatural rut.
Yeah. Well, this rut actually will clear your mind, and it's liberating. I mean, it's very spiritual, and like I feel like I'm healing both physically, mentally, and spiritually out here. Like I feel like
awesome.
a different person than I was 2 months ago, or than I was basically 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's.
You feel like that a little bit more every day.
Yeah, a little bit more every day. I mean, my body's feeling better. Like I feel like I'm a 100% different person than I was the day that I started.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. It's like you hit moments of clarity while you're out there, to where nothing else that you left behind really matters as far as like monetary things and material things that we take for granted in everyday life, dealing with society stuff. But you come out here, there's no rules. You wake up, you hike, you enjoy it. And there are ups and downs. I know I think it was about the third day out, we hit a good rainstorm, and woke up the next day soaking wet and cold.
Yeah.
And I was in a funk then, because I was not mentally prepared to go through a condition like that. But
now you know you.
But now I am. Yeah. So we hit another rain, and mentally I turned myself around.
You're like,
saying,
"Come on, Prime, kick it in."
Yeah, and it's. I tell myself on all the down times, I tell myself it's temporary.
Yeah.
For every uphill on the other side, there's a downhill.
Yep.
And as long as I keep a mindset like that, I mean, I've enjoyed every minute of walking the trail.
That's why they say never quit on a bad day.
Exactly.
Because it is temporary like that.
Right.
Just like in life, people make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions way too often.
Yeah.
And they may regret it, or out of pride they may stick by their decision, but have ruined something that they could have salvaged with the right spirit. So, but that's what I got into this for, was to give people, or try to help people and nourish them or nurture them along the way as they try to kind of find themselves again, or get out of the rut like that. or renew themselves like you are. So
Absolutely.
that's music to my ears. That that's happening that quickly for you.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Absolutely, a good
It's
feeling.
satisfying for me as well, and probably for all hostel owners and whatnot.
Yeah.
Probably feel the same way. A lot of us are as much in the line of caregiving as hosteling. That's really I like Dr. Peppa up at Angel's Rest. If you guys get a chance, you should go by there. She definitely has that same spirit. So, and there's several others along the trail. So what's your experience been? Where were you at? You seemed like you were just out for an adventure. What brought you out?
Not really. Yes, an adventure too, of course. But I think that I had a hard time to listen to myself, to hear myself, what I wanted as a person. From all the exterior exposure, from information, emails, cell phones, all that stuff, prevented me from listening to myself.
Yeah.
So slowly, I get the feeling that I'm trying to reconnect, and I can hear actually what I want to do with my life.
Oh, nice.
And that kind of, we from time to time we don't walk together. We several hours we walk apart. So I walk alone. And it becomes it becomes like a meditation thing.
Yeah.
It slowly, you have your rhythm, you can hear your gear, it's creaking a little bit, and it becomes a sort of a meditation. And suddenly you start to remember things, and you start to realize more and more connecting to what I think is important to me in my life.
Right.
And going forward.
So have you had childhood memories come back up and things like that, or just old memories?
Not that much childhood memories. Maybe lately. I also have some difficult things in my life that I want to take. There are difficult decisions, and I hear, I can get different perspectives of these type of these thoughts and stuff. So
nice. And Prime and I, within 30 seconds of talking, when I came in and met him yesterday? That was yesterday. Anyway, within 30 seconds of talking, it came up that he mentioned how society basically is very good at making us feel like we're boxed in and have to work, and work like a regular job, be stuck in one place, and just work to pay bills and acquire material things until we die, basically, and you can't take it with you. And he said, what was it you said? That he's interested in seeing people open up their full potential. And I think that's what the trail does for a lot of people, because people become much more adventurous, their mind is open up, that they have this freedom, that we're not rooted like trees, we can actually walk and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Even if you have to walk there. You can walk all the way around the world if you choose to. So, but it was, you mentioned the human potential, and that struck a chord with me, and Prime's very successful, he works all over the world as an engineer, and he sees this, wherever he goes, where people are sometimes stuck in their misery, but
I do believe that most people, a lot of people, forget that they have this unimaginable amount of potential inside and capacity to do things. We are being told in school, at work, that we can't do things. I refuse to see that at all. This potential people have, you can do. Everyone is free. You can do it. It will be different for everyone. It won't be the same, but in the end, use this potential and create your own life. That's my message.
And what inspired? Where did you get that? Like, did somebody influence you to think like that, or in your readings, or?
That actually started when I thought about what is the purpose of education. I had a bit naive view from the beginning to that education was supposed to bring me to become a good human being, to have a good life, which most education does not. Regular education is for you to become a good worker.
An automaton.
Yes, an obedient worker. And as soon as I realized that, and I said, okay, so then I have to take back the control in my life to create a good life for me. Balance and what I wanted to do. How do I create happiness in my life? And that journey, it's been ongoing for 15 years now.
So it's a search for self-fulfillment in yourself that you came to this realization about society.
Yeah, I think so.
And education.
Yeah.
It's cool. Well, I wish you guys luck out there. And if you have any trouble, you're within our reach as far as picking you up. So if the weather hits, there is supposed to be a cold front, I think, coming in. I don't know if it's going to come that far south of the jet stream. But if it does, don't hesitate to call. I'll get out there and we'll figure out a way to get you back in out of the cold. We can thaw out and then go back out again.
Hey, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind coming back here. It's a great place.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Awesome.
I appreciate it. It's good to meet you
Thank
guys.
you. Thank you.
And yeah, happy hiking.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Hope you enjoy it.
Absolutely.
All right, Josie, let's take these guys out on the trail.
Happy trailing.